One of the things that I think that people who are really into calisthenics have a tendency to overlook is the power of rows. And frankly, there are a couple of ways that you can do this. Now, I'm suggesting the one-arm row. However, if it doesn't really feel right on the shoulder, or if your strength isn't there, you can just do a regular row instead. And I'll give you some options for that momentarily. But for right now, I am going to show you the details of a one-arm row. Really pretty straightforward. What you're going to do is you're going to find an appropriate distance, and I'm sorry about the angle here, but you're going to try to find an appropriate distance back, right? And then pull at the top. You don't really want to come all the way to standing. You want to keep some tension on it, so there will be some lean back, all right? Speaking of lean, you're not trying to maintain this perfect position with the hips. Your hip is going to kick over to the working side, and that is going to help you with the pull. If you've ever seen somebody do a one-arm push-up, again, if you're looking from the bottom, that's more or less what it looks like as well, because we're biasing one side. You want your hip to be kicked over to that side, all right? Now, the other option, if one-arm rows are just a no-go, would be to do rows at a challenging angle. So what that would require is that you go and find an angle that would be challenging. So let's say, for instance, I find this to be a challenging angle. The important part with doing the row is simply that you make sure you are maintaining your tension throughout the body so that you're not overarching, you're not sagging at the hips or anything like that. It should be basically like you would expect in a push-up, for instance, right? You can go pretty far down. You can go all the way until your feet are elevated on something. But if you're going to be using a pair of gymnastics rings with a door jamb pull-up bar, make sure that when you're doing it, you are not doing it in the direction that you can remove the pull-up bar. You want to make sure that you're actually pulling so that, let's say you hook the pull-up bar like this, you should be pulling like that. So you wouldn't want to have it on the other side where you could potentially remove the unit, right? I know it's a very common sense thing, but a lot of times we don't think about that sort of a thing. And especially if you're going to be doing it directly underneath the unit, meaning like with your feet elevated and stuff, that might be something you should just avoid, because with a door jamb pull-up bar, it's easy to get pulled down if you're not being careful. So just a couple of considerations.